Hey, it's Dr. Scott. I'm going to explain in this screencast how to use the Styles feature in Word. Now, styles are also used in, I think, in Google Docs, and I think you'll also find them in other word processing programs. I'm most familiar with Word, but I think a lot of what I'm going to provide here is something that you can transfer to another word processing application. Styles are incredibly helpful in Word, and it's one of the things that I kind of geek out. I am a self-professed nerd, and I geek out about things like fonts and about using like little hacks within Microsoft Word to do what I think are pretty useful things. So you're going to have to excuse me as I geek out a little bit as I show you guys about how to use styles in Word. But they're helpful because they can provide sections for your writing that for me make drafting go. It's much more smoother and less painful because I can break down a really large project into something small by using section headings that I can very easily identify and go directly to. And I'm going to show you how to do all that. And you're going to need to use this stuff up here. Heading 1, heading 2, normal. And I'll show you how to change headings, how to create headings, and then how to create some pretty useful views in Microsoft Word to help you kind of visualize where your document's at. So here we go. Let's get into it. So I'm going to go down to a separate page, start a new page here, and let's say I've got normal text here. And this is just the default. This is what Word kind of sets up automatically in the template that you're working in. Calibri 11 point is going to be my normal font. But let's say that I want my normal text to be different than that. I could change this over here and then just hope everything stays that way, or I can change over here in styles. I can change my font into something else. So let's say I want to go to modify. Let's say I want to do Garamond. So now all my typing will be in that font. Okay, you're with me there, I think. Now, let's say I want to put section headings. Like I have a section in my essay. Let's say I'm writing a documented argument. It's something I assign pretty frequently in classes like English 1105. I want to create sections of my essay because I know that I'm going to have an introduction. Let's see, write the word introduction here. I know that I'm going to have causes of pollution. And I'm just totally making up an argument on the fly. It's not really past solutions of pollution in Scioto County. Proposal, implications, conclusions. So these are all sections of my essay. So kind of breaking down what things am I going to be writing about. I'm going to be providing an introduction. I'm going to provide some context to my topic. I'm going to discuss past solutions that have been used. Proposal, like I think that this is the solution to use. Implications, if we don't make a change, this thing will happen. And conclusion, kind of summing everything up. Maybe this is how feasible it is. So I want to kind of set these up as individual sections in my paper. So I just kind of click on heading 2, and it kind of gives you a preview of what it would look like, and I go there. Section 2, or I'm sorry, heading 2. I don't like the heading 1 for those just because it's so much bigger. It's kind of distracting. So let's say within that, past solutions of pollution in Scioto County, we got like recycling programs, and we have city cleanup days. So those are individual subsections within that heading there. So I would go from heading 2 maybe to heading 3. For those of you that are bothered by that, there it goes. All right. So we have, within that, we have different sections. So we're going to have normal text here, normal text here, blah, 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 there, blah, 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 there. So you see these headings are kind of, they're staying there, that's fine, that's where I want them. Now I can change these. Like if I want the font to look a little bit different, and all the styles are in the Home tab. Let's say I wanted the heading to, let's say I really want to annoy Dr. Scott, and I want to use some god-awful font, like Comic Sans, Orange, because you're a sadist, and 16 font. You could change it. And look what's going to happen, not just to one, but all of them. Boom. All of them are changed. Alright, so we still have the same font here, and then we have the serial killer kind of font going on here. Alright, so in your draft, like if I assign you a draft to do, like you can do some kind of crazy font. If I see this in an essay, I think my head will spin, and I think your grade will drop. Because this is kind of an awful font. You want to use fonts that are kind of, they're at the level like of seriousness that you're trying to communicate, and also to your audience. Like if you have this together, if you use this in a font, it's going to be hard for me to kind of take that seriously, because like Comic Sans comes from comic books, and that's where it should kind of stay. But you can kind of mix it up and to do different fonts instead of just kind of like the default. Like Calibri is the normal text that Microsoft Word assigns with all new versions of Word, so maybe you change that up a little bit. Like I kind of like Garamond, which is a certain kind of font, and maybe I want something a little bit cleaner as my heading 2, and maybe I do something like Arial or Verdana. I like Verdana as a font. So there we go. Maybe I like that contrast a little bit. Maybe I change this normal font just a little bit, and maybe make it just a little bit bigger. Okay, so it changes all those. Alright, so you can kind of play around with that a little bit, do what you like. For the draft, you can get crazy. You can use kind of nuts fonts like Papyrus, or lame fonts like Comic Sans, whatever. Knock your socks off. I don't care. But for your revision, make sure that you're using a font that's kind of communicating, your own credibility, like your ethos is represented in decisions like what fonts to use and things like that. Okay, so I'm going to show you. So I've shown you how to set up, how to use styles, and how to create these different headings, and how to modify these headings. You go to right click. Say I want to change the heading 3, make that also Arial. I can do that. Maybe I want to change it to be a different color, whatever. I want to show you one last thing that is super helpful, and it's under the View tab. So View, and then I'm going to show you this navigation pane. Click on navigation pane. What that does is it creates a table of contents over at the left side of your screen that's clickable. So let's say that I'm going to do a bunch of page breaks here. I'm all the way down here in Causes of Pollution in Scioto County, which is several pages away from my introduction. Let's say I want to go back to the introduction really quickly. You just click that, and it goes right there. So it's taking you to all those different sections. For me, that has been so helpful to write longer documents, like even writing a syllabus. Like my syllabus is set up exactly this way, so it's much easier for me to visualize my project as a set of smaller little documents that I need to write. And none of us write 2,000 word essays at one sitting. We can write in one sitting a 1 to 2 page introduction. We can write a couple pages explaining the context of the problem that we're working on. We can do those in one sitting. So every day, if we're writing just a little bit, we're there. And this kind of helps me visualize it in that way. It also helps me keep my writing organized. So if I'm writing in a section that says past solutions of pollution in Scioto County, and I start writing about, if I start getting into my proposal, I know that that's not really organized the right way. And kind of breaking your project up in this way can make it super easy for a reader to understand where you're going. It also helps you as a writer kind of keep your writing on track. All right, hope you found that useful. If you have any questions, make sure you email me and let me know, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys try this out in your own writing.